Hi there, my name is Vicki Clark and this is the Vic Tats podcast. This is a podcast about tatting, not the skin and ink kind of tatting, but the needle, shuttle, and thread kind of tatting. And I also have a little bit of cross stitch thrown in, or other types of crafts that I do, which just reminds me, I forgot of something I've done. Now it's been a couple months, not for any weird reason other than I just think of things at the wrong time. I even got a ring light, you can kind of see that in the background, but I haven't, the lighting here seems to be okay right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. So what's been going on? Not a whole lot. Still waiting for the rebuild I'm still waiting for them to do the asbestos part of the teardown for my house that burnt down in February. But I got, on the tatting note, I actually got a really wonderful package the other day that had come up via a couple hands across from the Finger Lakes over to London, Ontario, and up to me via a couple hands in the London tatting group. But I wanted to just show that to you because so it was a box full of different tatting supplies and everything, and books and all that stuff. But there's a couple really notable things that were in there, and I mean it was all awesome. But one of the things was this beautiful quilt with tatting on it, and that's the thing for me. Look at the nice big, oh yeah, it is showing up really good. Here it is. But is that what happened is that when I had the fire, like I have at my cottage, I had a lot of my tatting stuff, but I had at my house all of my large tatting projects, so all of the big doilies. Well, I have the Renalec 2014 that I had done only so many rounds of, because when I hit a certain point I was like, no, I'm done. So it's about 6 rounds short of the full size. So I still have that, but I don't have my big monster doilies that I've made, like the Renalecs. And I had finally finished to the on the Laying Me Up doily. It's a doily by Mike Lyon, and it's about this big around. And it's got a repeating winding element. So I had finished the inside part with the winding element, like the main part, the center, the winding element, and then the bands around there. So that in itself was almost like a big doily. And finished that, and it was at home for blocking with a bunch of other things that I brought home. So it's gone too. Anyways, so the point of that was I was really happy to get this tatting, and I think Kathy Burt did this. I'm not saying her last name properly, but because I've seen her make these over a number of years, and this is a beautiful hand tatted scarf that's just matches in my outfit too. But it's just gorgeous. And it could be, I think, a table scarf or just a scarf itself, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I really like the material that tatting makes. Anyways, so that was really a highlight, and I got it a couple weeks ago, and it was really terrific. I was really happy to get it. And like I said, there's a bunch of books in the boxes, and some of those books are some of my favorite books, so I was really happy to get it. I got a big thick pile of Carrie Sullivan's pattern books, so that was also a really great thing. I wanted to just say thank you to everybody who contributed to that, because it really made my day, and it was really nice. And you can see that's one of the tatting, the tatting that was sent up, and it's a doily that's been framed. There's a couple more things around, and so I put them around. It's, for me, I use, if people wonder what they do with tatting and stuff, I use the tatting as decorations and table mats and put them all over the place. So that's just me. Okay, so what have I been tatting? Well, I don't know, can't really remember, but in the last week, I've been working on a pumpkin pattern, and I'm planning on sharing it on my blog, victats.blogspot.com, hopefully in the next little bit. So there's a smaller version of it where it's kind of like a, more of a runner or something like that. And then I did in size 3 thread. I did a larger version of it, but I did a different top, a different stem. So there it is. There's one, and then there it is. Oops. Sorry, it's still in the process of being made. So, and then there's, yeah, that's not gonna work. This is upside down, but there's the other one that I've made so far. I like to make some things in the size 3 thread because then it's not, I don't know, it's, sometimes it really shows up the lines of tatting and everything. And then I also had, that I pulled out of stuff that I made years before, I brought, because I thought I might stiffen them and do something and kind of make a little Halloween tree or whatever. Oh yeah, it's not the best background for this, but anyway. There it is, my skull pattern. This is my sugar skull pattern without the actual eyes put on it. I really find something creepy about a skull with no eyes, with no eye sockets, because even if you are a blind human, you have eyes. Rudimentary eyes. Anyway, so I always found that kind of creepy in video games and all that stuff. And in the, what's it called? Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know if you remember the creature from Pan's Labyrinth that had to bring their eyes up like this. That thing creeped me out. Anyways, on that note, I don't know if anybody saw that there's a new version of Hellraiser on Hulu. And I'm really, really tempted to watch it. Only I like the old Pinhead. And for the record, the original book that it is based on is not much like the movie. It kind of is, kind of isn't, but it's more of a, you know, books and movies are not the same. Anyways, okay, so the other thing I made this week was after the funeral, I was, when I was watching the Queen's funeral, there was, and I can't find it again, but some of the people that were marching had a insignia on their chest that was gold and had the E2R. So I was kind of trying to copy it. Now here's my problem is that's not going to stay up, but I was fiddling with making the her little thing, her little symbol. I'm Canadian. Colonization and everything's really, really tender point for us right now, because we've had a real reckoning in the last whatever years. So while a lot of us European or your English descendant citizens are by nature loyalists, that's how a lot of Canadians got up here. It hasn't been a fun experience for a lot of other people, and especially your Indigenous people. Just want to be mindful of that, considering we're leading up to September 30th, which here in Canada is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. You know, that's where we remember all the people that we killed on our way here. Anyways, if that sounds sarcastic, it's not really meant to be. It's actually a true fact. So, yeah. Anyways, so we're going to move on from that. Anyway, yeah. So, did find the Queen's funeral moving. However, there's a lot of implications with not her about what that whole thing represented. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So what else have I done? I'm pretty sure I haven't done a podcast since July. So I also, if you go on my blog, I had done a Very Canadian tat-along and a 4th of July tat-along. And I think they turned out really good. And I know there were some questions about what the rodent I ended up with, but it's a beaver and that's supposed to be its tail. But I couldn't just do it. I guess I thought I couldn't just do it at flat. I needed to make it look kind of like a flat tail. And there have been other interpretations of what's going on with that tail, which I was aware of a possibility. But anyways, it's funny. Okay. I'm just looking to see. There's a couple other things I'm hoping to share, and actually now that I got my package, I actually have white thread again, which, believe it or not, I use a lot of white thread. I use a lot of white thread, I use a lot of black thread, and I find I use a lot of red thread. So now that I have white thread, then, and actually a lot of orange too, then I'm going to be able to finish out another thing I wanted to share on my blog. Okay, so the other thing I did this summer was I was dimension kit crazy. Okay, so I watched a couple podcasts that had people sharing the dimension kits they had, and I was obsessed. So I bought a couple dimensions kits, and what I like about, so I like the Mill Hill kits and I like the dimension kits and all that stuff when it comes to cross stitch. I'm talking about cross stitch right now, by the way. And the reason I like them so much is because it's all contained. I don't have to think too much. And, you know, so I had ordered up a couple. So I went, like I said, a little crazy. And then I was nervous that I didn't do it right. So I ordered a second one. Anyways, so let me just show you. Oh, sorry. Forget that. Well, so the one dimension kit I've been working on is the Holiday Home, and it is this is it. And I actually did most of this progress within the first couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks I haven't been doing very much on this. You kind of, I find with cross stitch, you kind of go into modes, right? The other thing is I really like cross stitching on 14 count Aida because it's really easy. Like, it's really no brainer. But then I kind of, you know, you get sick of it. Anyways, so I'm always changing things around. So this is one of the ones I ordered. I also ordered, it's not here, it's over there, but I ordered, there's a cow with flowers on the top, and there is a fancy lady style going on, which usually means like mirabilia, which are these ladies in these fancy dresses or whatever, or Bella Filipino, which is another company that does these beautiful girls and dresses and everything like that. And that's what it normally means, but I'm a farmer and a farmer's daughter. I'm a farmer's daughter, not a farmer. So to me, a fancy lady's a cow. So I ordered up a cow one. It's really cute. But it is actually, I have a lot more sympathy now for the people who do the full coverage kind of things, because with this one, I can't it's all shading, and so it's a little bit harder, and I'm not really, I won't see the cow until pretty much the very end, so that's hard for me. I need to, like with this one, then like with the house, the holiday house, I can say, oh, I'm doing a window, and I've done the window, and I can say, you know, this part and whatever, but the cow, it's like a, the thing I did do is I dyed the background of the cow blue, like the Aida, because I didn't like it being just white. And I did, yeah, so I've done that. Now the thing is I ordered a bunch of other ones. I kind of think I made a critical error, because I ordered a bunch of ones that are the dimensions petite, and they are 18 count Aida, and I'm not as a big fan of 18 count Aida when it comes to stitching, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Now I still stitch on 18 count. So for example, this is 18 count. So I did this, I was just screwing around, no pattern. I took, I downloaded the magazine. There's a called The Gift of Stitching. I bought it and downloaded it, and she was actually really kind enough to let me re-download it when my house burnt down. But I use that as a reference for lettering and that stuff, because at the end of, I think it was in 2007, at the end of the book, she had a whole bunch of letters on one page. So it'd be like K's and L's, and the next one would be like M's and N's. So she did that for a while. If you're a cross stitcher, and you don't have the books from long before, because she did them between, I think it was 2006 and 2011-12. It's a really terrific resource to purchase, and there's a lot of really terrific patterns in there. Like, even if nothing else, I enjoy reading through them, slipping through them. So the other thing I've been working on cross stitch is that I signed up to do an exchange. So I've been working on the exchange, and I did one's going to be for me and one's going to be for her. It's just whatever one turns out better, I'll send to her. But the funny thing about this is, I really love the way it turns out. Don't ask me why I picked these colors on the back. I just thought they went, because it's blues and pinks. I know the reds go, but the blues and pinks don't quite. Just for whatever reason, this is what I thought went. And this is cuter when I'm not holding onto it like this. But there's the candy cane, and there's supposed to be red beads on there, and I forgot to put the red beads on, so I just don't know if now I go back and add them on after I've done all the sewing. I don't know. And okay, this stupid thing, I made everything wrong. Okay, so I've been sewing all my life. I don't do it often, but I'm doing it all my life. All my life. Every single wrong thing that I did put the presser foot down, so that's the only wrong thing I didn't do, but that you could do, I did it. So instead of having, the right sides together, I had I had a right side and a wrong side together. I had to undo this thing like 100 times, and anyways, it was so funny. The other thing is I use this trim on the outside is just some, yarn I have around that because it's over there too, I didn't bring it. I was making this other, it's called Grim Grinning Goats is the company. And I saw it on the Witchy Stitcher website, and I fell in love with these goats, and I was obsessed with making them. So, and I got one made. But partly because it's this really annoying kind of yarn that you're using for it, but I haven't sewed it back together, so I'm going to wait to do it, and I'm planning on giving it to someone fairly young, so I got to practice making eyes, because I don't want to, safety eyes are not safe, or unless I buy the really big eyes. The safety eyes are not safe for young children when it's crochet, because you can sometimes pop it through, and why take the risk, right? Anyways, sorry for a sec. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. I still got this one to do. This is, I think this is Lagana. It's gray. I think it's Lagana, because I tried to coffee tea dye and it didn't go very well. Anyway, so that's gone well. And I was planning on, back to this Joy. I thought what I would do is make a little kind of pocket thingy, or a needle sleeve. Oh, I have that too for my, for the person I'm doing the exchange with. Okay, other things that I have done. It makes it look like I have been doing a lot more cross stitch than tatting, but that's not true. Because remember, I did a lot of tatting in order to do the 4th of July stuff. So I'm not showing that here because then I think you can go on my blog and see them. Although, and I haven't, I'm planning on sewing them to little needle. Ooh, I should do. I was planning on sewing them to little needle rolls. Okay, so the other thing I had finished is this little pumpkin. It was supposed to be, there's a pumpkin trio from the Housewives of Cross Stitch, and I completely screwed up the pattern, so I just made my own from there. Once I got to about here and I'd completely screwed it up, I just swung it from there. So it looks like I made his little stump to look kind of like a crown, so he's like the Pumpkin King, and I just got to fill in this hole, and I'll put some kind of trim around it or something. And then the other one, this is also from the Housewives of Cross Stitch, only okay, I love the Housewives of Cross Stitch. They do really, so it's Stitching with the Housewives, is the company, okay? They do amazing patterns, but for me, they're a little too cluttery sometimes. So what I often do is I'll just take out elements. So that was with the Strawberry Farm. I did the farm, I didn't do the windmill, and there's supposed to be strawberries all along here, but I actually just thought, well, this is cute. And I changed the colors because I was really inspired by this for colors. And then I used the same backing on here as I did for the candy cane. And then this is the yarn that I'm putting it around. Now, when you go to do this stuff, it's kind of you can't be too picky when you're working on it. You just want to make it so you're not doing a horrible job or it's bunching or anything. You just want it to kind of come around even and that the thread tightens up. Don't fuss about it, because when you go look at it later, you're not going to worry. You're not going to be it's going to look good. So there's that. Oh, I know what I made a bunch of. I made a bunch of, so my friends, a couple of my friends have had animals pass away. So I made them, oh yeah, I forgot that one too. Okay, so I made them, sorry, this is back to tatting for a second. Let me back up. I used the size 3 thread to do this, but I made them the little paw print from Paw Prints on My Heart by, I'm forgetting her name, I'm sorry, the Tarnished Tatter. And she's still on Facebook and all that stuff, so if you ask her, she still sells her patterns, but she's not, you know, she's not promoting them as much as she used to, but she's really terrific tatter, and I really love her patterns. But this is the paw print from there, and what I do is I make the paw print in size 3 thread, and I sew a heart into the middle, and then make a little dangle for the person. If I have letters that will work, then I'll do the letters too, but the name too. Okay, so, and then the other thing I forgot to show you is I pulled this out of archive. I've had this around waiting in the wings for a long time, but I just hadn't quite, I don't know, you know, and sometimes you're not really sure. And so there's a little, this is supposed to be a little coffin, and it says RIP on it. So you sew the rest in peace on afterwards, onto the thing. So this is going to be up sometime soon on the blog, hopefully too, in time for Halloween. Okay. And once again, my blog is victats.blogspot.com. Okay, now we're back to the cross stitch. What made me think of this was actually this stuff. Okay, so I wanted to, I've got to get them out. But on the Witchy Stitcher site, you can join a card exchange. And so I have my cards that I purchased like a month ago. And then you send them out. And if you want to put something in, you put something in. But also the person who organized it gave me, oh, hold on. Sorry, that was just reading the person who organized it also gave her address in case anybody wanted to send something to her because people had asked. And so what I'm planning on doing is I decided that I would make this. So, okay, so this does not work here because just FYI, when you read this, it reverses the order, right? Like it's not whatever. So what I had wanted to do is I wanted to write something, I wanted it to be creepy, right? So in actuality, this is in reverse, right? So it says, don't look back, but you'd have to put it up into a mirror for it to look the way it looks to you, right? And then I not deliberately, it turned out perfectly fine, pretty good because I kept screwing up the letters. So that worked out in favor of what the look I wanted. So then on the weekend, I did myself a second one because that one's going to be for me, but I made it into kind of she may not realize this, but it's supposed to be a needle roll. So I did 2 little tatting things on the 2 rings and sandwiched it, and then used size 3 thread and then did a little tail. And then what will happen is it'll be a needle roll so she can put her needles in there. And I'm going to send this to her flat. I'll write her a little note and then she can just tie these ends together. Do you know what I mean? That's how I thought about it. Maybe I should have done it differently, but whatever. So then she can just kind of tie it like this, right? Maybe I should have done a button and had it wound around. I don't know, I'll see. But anyways, I thought it was super cute. And the felt I use is, oh, just in case you're ever wondering, I only ever use craft felt because that's what I can get. Anyways, it turned out pretty good. I love the way it looks. But when you look at it, it's actually right because of the way the phones are, the camera is, it flips things over. So let me give you, like, see how this is opposite? So this one really looks opposite in real life unless you're looking in a mirror. Be kind of fun, right? Okay, so that's what I did. And then other things, I've been working away, I don't know if I showed this to you before, but I've been working away on this pattern, which is by Cottage Garden. But I haven't worked on this in a little while, but I got a lot done on him. And again, I really like the size 14 Ada, and I like the cheap stuff, and I dye it myself, and then it's thick, it's not flimsy, because I stitch in hand some of the times. The other things that I don't have right here in hand, because I put them away, is I joined the Witchy Stitcher Stitch Along, only I haven't worked on it since the August long weekend, because I had to take a break from black. and haven't gotten back to it but I'm really enjoying following it, so I'm glad I actually did join the Stitch Along. And the Witchy Stitch was a fellow Canadian, so why not support her? What else have I done? Sorry. Oh, I've been working on sorry, I had a little candy cane to go into my candy cane thing. I have also been working on a Wonder Woman shawl, but it's not very far, and knitted version, and this will be the third one I'm making, but because I'm not in a rush for it, I just want it done for when it gets cold, so I might have to get working on it. Because once again, I am taking a whole bunch of my stuff home to get it cleaned and reblocked, because I thought, oh, I'm blocking this stuff, I might as well sit down and do all this stuff. So yeah, big bummer. People are currently cleaning that up, I hope. Sorry. And then what else? I'm thinking that I'm going to figure out something to do with the ER for Elizabeth, because I think she is a pretty, like I said, yes, we are in Canada wrangling with the results of colonialism, but Elizabeth was in herself a pretty special lady. So I want to do something to remember her, and so there will be hopefully something that comes along there. Originally I'd had this image, I always had this image of what they had on their shirts, but I can't find, I'm gonna have to look at the whole darn funeral thing again. And yes, I watched most of it. You know, and as one of the spokespersons speakers said, they said usually in a country you have to bust people in to get them to come do something like this. So the fact that all these people had regarded her so highly speaks a lot for her, independent of her wealth and her position. What else? I also am working on making, I don't know if you're in the States, but if you have, at the Dollar Tree, they have the pumpkin wreaths form. So what I did is I went, and there's twine in the handyman section, I guess. It comes 3 to a pack, and I've been using that and glue gun to wrap around the pumpkin form and make it into a little arrangement. So I've done a couple of those as well. Mostly I've been putting around and, I don't know, kayaking. I like to go kayak when I go kayaking, because I've got to take everything down. I like to go for a little while, and I would have went this afternoon, but it looks like it's gonna thunderstorm, and I'm not going to succeed this year to get to as far as I'd like to go, but I would have liked to have gone to both locks where I am, and yep. Anyways, what else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm hoping to get a couple things out onto the blog in the next little while. I don't know why I don't blog more often. Look, it was so hard for me to just, I don't know why it took me so long to do this one little thing. But that's it. Okay. Oh shoot. Oh, well, never mind. I'll have to share it next time. I got something in the mail from a friend. Anyways, so I want to say thank you to everybody. And if you have any questions or comments or any suggestions about what I should be doing, don't hesitate. One of these times, I don't hesitate to comment below. One of these times I really want to go through and highlight a lot of the people that I follow on Instagram. I used to do that when I did the talking podcast before, but I haven't, like a podcast, this is a vlog, but I haven't done the list, but because there's a lot of really, on Instagram, there's a lot of really terrific tatters, and there's a lot of really terrific patterns that are shared there. They're usually visual, but they're pretty terrific. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I don't think so. All right, so I am going to, actually, yeah, I'll talk about it next time. I'm going to wish you guys happy tatting and sign off, and hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.